Welcome to Knowitrix, where curiosity becomes clarity. Here, complex ideas are decoded, trending topics are explored, and the hidden patterns of our world are revealed through cinematic storytelling. From the science behind viral moments to the future of technology, from human psychology to global events, every episode transforms everyday questions into powerful insights. If you love learning, thinking deeper, and understanding the world in a smarter way, you're in the right place. Welcome to the matrix of modern knowledge. Welcome to Knowitrix. Across the world, millions of people begin their day the same way. They stretch, grab their phone, and swipe open their email inbox without a second thought. It feels harmless, almost automatic, like brushing your teeth or checking the time. But hidden inside that inbox, among newsletters, bank statements, and work updates, could be a single message capable of destroying a person's finances, reputation, or even their entire company. Imagine this moment as if you're watching it unfold in a film. A quiet bedroom, soft morning light. A phone buzzes on a bedside table. A hand reaches out, still half asleep, and taps the screen. A new email appears. The subject line is simple, almost boring, urgent. Your salary account will be frozen in 24 hours. The sender name looks familiar. It appears to be the bank the person uses every month. The email includes their name, the last 4 digits of their account number, and a warning that sounds serious enough to trigger a spike of fear. The message urges them to click a link to verify their identity. In that moment, the person doesn't think about cybersecurity. They don't think about hackers. They don't think about consequences. They think about their salary, their bills, their responsibilities, their fear. They click. A website opens. It looks exactly like their bank's login page. Same colors, same logo, same layout. They enter their username. They enter their password. They hit submit. And in less than 30 seconds, their entire bank balance is gone. No malware, no virus, no hacking tools, just a human being manipulated into giving away their own access. This is not fiction. This is not rare. This is not a tech problem. This is human hacking, the biggest cyber weakness in the world. Title card: Knowitrix, Module 3, Human Hacking and Social Engineering. Phishing and Spear Phishing. Real examples: detection and defense. Human hacking is the art of manipulating people into doing something that benefits the attacker. Unlike traditional hacking, which targets systems, software, or networks, human hacking targets something far more vulnerable and unpredictable: the human mind. To understand phishing and spear phishing, we must first understand why humans, not computers, are the weakest link in cybersecurity. Modern cybersecurity systems are incredibly advanced. Banks use encryption so strong that even supercomputers would take thousands of years to break it. Companies use firewalls that monitor every packet of data entering and leaving their network. Cloud platforms use AI to detect suspicious behavior in milliseconds. But humans are emotional creatures. We get scared when we see warnings. We get excited when we see rewards. We get stressed when we see deadlines. We get distracted when we're busy. We trust familiar names. We respond quickly to authority. Hackers know this. They don't need to break into your computer when they can break into your thinking. A firewall cannot stop you from clicking a link. Antivirus cannot stop you from replying to a fake email. Encryption cannot protect you if you willingly give away your password. This is why human hacking is so powerful. It bypasses technology entirely and goes straight to the source: you. Every phishing attack is built on psychological triggers, emotional shortcuts that humans rely on to make quick decisions. Hackers exploit these shortcuts because they know people rarely stop to analyze every message they receive. Let's break down the most common psychological triggers. Urgency. Humans react quickly and they feel time pressure. Hackers use phrases like, "Your account will be locked in 24 hours. Immediate action required. Your payment failed. Update now." Urgency shuts down logical thinking and activates fear-based decision-making. Fear is one of the strongest motivators. Hackers know that people panic when they see your tax ID is under investigation. Your account has been compromised. Suspicious login detected. Fear makes people act without verifying. Greed. Humans love rewards. Hackers exploit this with, "You've won a free iPhone. Claim your cashback reward. Exclusive offer just for you." Even smart people fall for greed-based scams because the reward feels too good to ignore. Curiosity is a powerful psychological force. Hackers use subject lines like, "Someone filed a complaint against you. Your package delivery failed. Important document attached." Curiosity overrides caution. Authority. Humans naturally obey authority figures. Hackers impersonate CEOs, HR managers, banks, government agencies, IT departments. When people see authority, they comply without questioning. Trust. Humans trust familiar names. Hackers exploit this by spoofing friends, colleagues, vendors, bosses. A message from someone you know feels safe, even when it's fake. Phishing is a cyber attack where criminals send fake messages pretending to be trusted organizations to steal information, money, or access. But calling phishing fake emails is like calling a hurricane a bit of rain. It dramatically underestimates the scale, sophistication, and global impact of these attacks. Phishing is a multi-billion-dollar criminal industry. It is responsible for more cyber losses than any other attack method. And it works because it targets human psychology, not technology. Phishing works because it blends into everyday life. People receive dozens, sometimes hundreds of emails every day. Most people don't inspect every message carefully. Hackers rely on this. Phishing emails look real because attackers copy real company logos and mimic real writing styles. They use familiar formatting, spoof sender names, create believable stories, and use real data from leaks. Even trained professionals can be fooled. Phishing also works because people are busy. When someone is rushing between meetings, handling deadlines, or multitasking, they are more likely to click without thinking. Hackers don't need everyone to fall for their scam. If they send 10,000 phishing emails and only 1% fall for it, they still succeed. One of the most common phishing attacks is the fake bank alert. The email usually claims, "Your account has been suspended, your card has been blocked, your password has expired, your identity needs verification." The email includes a link that leads to a fake website designed to look exactly like your bank's login page. The colors, fonts, layout, and even the URL may look convincing. Once you enter your username and password, the hacker receives it instantly. They log into your real bank account within seconds. They transfer money before you even realize what happened. This attack works because people fear losing access to their money. Fear overrides logic. During the COVID pandemic, online shopping skyrocketed. Hackers took advantage of this by sending fake delivery notifications. The email might say, "Your package is waiting for delivery. Address confirmation required. Pay 50 rupees to release your parcel." People click because they assume it's related to something they ordered. The link leads to a fake payment page. Victims enter their card details. Hackers steal the information and drain their accounts. This scam works because it blends into everyday life. People expect delivery messages, so they don't question them. This attack targets email accounts, which are the gateway to everything else: banking, social media, work accounts, cloud storage. The email claims, "Your password will expire today. Reset your password now. Unusual activity detected. The link leads to a fake login page. Victims enter their password. Hackers steal it and immediately log into the real account. Once they control your email, they can reset your bank passwords, access your social media, impersonate you, steal your identity, lock you out of your accounts. This is one of the most dangerous phishing attacks. Phishing is dangerous because it casts a wide net. Thousands of people receive the same message, and attackers hope a few will fall for it. But spear phishing is something far more precise, far more calculated, and far more devastating. If phishing is like throwing a fishing net into the ocean, spear phishing is like hunting with a sniper rifle. It is targeted, it is personalized, it is researched, it is crafted specifically for one person or one organization. Spear phishing attacks are responsible for some of the largest financial losses in cybersecurity history. Not because they exploit software vulnerabilities, but because they exploit human familiarity, trust, and routine. Unlike generic phishing emails, spear phishing messages are built using real information about the victim. Attackers spend days, sometimes weeks, gathering details that make their message look authentic. They study your job role, your responsibilities, your reporting structure, your writing style, your social media posts, your company's internal processes, your recent activities, your colleagues and vendors. This information allows them to craft messages that feel natural, familiar, and trustworthy. For example, if you recently posted on LinkedIn about attending a conference, a spear phishing email might say, "Hi, here are the slides from the cybersecurity session you attended yesterday." If you work in finance, the attacker might send, "Please process this invoice before 5 p.m. The CEO needs it cleared today." If you work in HR, they might send, "Here is the updated employee list for onboarding next week." The email doesn't feel suspicious because it fits perfectly into your daily workflow. It feels like something you would normally receive. This is what makes spear phishing so dangerous. It doesn't look like an attack. It looks like routine work. One of the most devastating spear phishing attacks in corporate history is known as CEO fraud, or business email compromise, BEC. Here's how it typically unfolds. The setup. Attackers spend weeks studying the company. They learn who the CEO is, who the CFO is, who handles payments, what vendors the company works with, what the company's financial processes look like, how the CEO writes emails, what tone they use, what time they usually send messages. They gather this information from LinkedIn, company websites, leaked databases, social media, press releases, employee posts, job descriptions. Attackers use these various sources to piece together key details about the structure and operations of their targeted company, preparing for their attack. Once the attackers understand the company's structure, they craft a message that appears to come directly from the CEO. The email might say, "I'm in an important meeting and cannot talk. Please transfer 25,000 rupees to this vendor immediately. This is urgent and confidential." The email is timed perfectly, often sent during peak work hours when employees are busy and less likely to question instructions. The tone matches the CEO's writing style. The signature looks identical. The urgency feels real. The finance employee, believing the CEO is giving a direct order, processes the payment. Company realizes what happened. The money has already been transferred to offshore accounts and withdrawn. The attackers act quickly once the payment is processed, making it almost impossible for the company to recover the lost funds. This type of attack has cost companies billions of dollars worldwide. Small businesses have gone bankrupt. Large corporations have suffered massive losses. Employees have lost their jobs. Reputations have been damaged. And all of it happened without a single line of malicious code. Just a single email. This is one of the most shocking spear phishing cases ever recorded, not because of the amount stolen, but because of who was targeted. Two of the world's most technologically advanced companies, Google and Facebook, lost over $100 million to a single attacker. A Lithuanian cybercriminal studied the company's vendor relationships. He discovered that both Google and Facebook regularly made payments to a real hardware supplier in Asia. He then created fake invoices, fake contracts, fake email addresses, fake bank accounts. Everything looked legitimate. He sent these fake invoices to the finance departments of both companies. The invoices matched real vendor names, real purchase orders, real payment amounts, real formatting. The finance teams processed the payments because everything looked normal. This continued for years. By the time the scam was discovered, over $100 million had been transferred to the attackers' accounts. If companies like Google and Facebook, with world-class cybersecurity teams, can fall for spear phishing, it proves one thing: no one is immune. Spear phishing succeeds because it exploits the most powerful human instincts: trust in familiarity and obedience to authority. People trust emails that reference real projects, colleagues, vendors, or events. The more familiar the message feels, the less suspicious it appears. When an email appears to come from a CEO, manager, or government agency, people comply without questioning. Authority suppresses doubt. Employees often fear delaying a CEO's request, causing financial loss, appearing incompetent, or missing deadlines. Hackers weaponize this fear. By exploiting the consequences people are afraid of, attackers can pressure targets into acting without thinking critically about the legitimacy of requests. People are more likely to make mistakes when they are busy, stressed, multitasking, or rushing. Attackers intentionally send phishing emails during peak work hours, knowing the chances of someone falling for the scam are higher under pressure and tight deadlines. Spear phishing attackers are not just hackers, they are psychologists. They deeply understand human behavior, communication patterns, emotional triggers, and organizational structure. Using this knowledge, they craft highly convincing messages that bypass logical defenses and directly target a person's instincts. Most people imagine hackers as hoodie-wearing coders typing in a dark room, breaking into systems using complex code. But many successful cybercriminals don't write a single line of code. Their true weapon is the deep understanding of people, and their phishing emails are carefully engineered psychological traps. Emails are not rushed or sloppy. Instead, they are built through a structured, step-by-step process that mirrors professional marketing, intelligence gathering, and behavioral science. Let's break down the precise process attackers follow to craft these dangerous emails in detail. Before attackers send a single email, they begin with reconnaissance, a methodical process of collecting information about the target. This is similar to how detectives study suspects or marketers study their audience. The more information gathered, the more convincing the phishing attempt becomes. Attackers often use publicly available sources without breaking any laws. These include platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and company websites. Each source provides different details that enable attackers to craft more credible and customized phishing emails for their victims. LinkedIn is a goldmine for attackers because it reveals job titles, reporting structures, company hierarchy, recent promotions, projects people are working on, colleagues and team members, and company tools and software. This information lets attackers personalize attacks, such as impersonating internal systems or colleagues. Facebook and Instagram reveal personal details such as birthdays, vacations, family members, hobbies, recent purchases, emotional states, and life events. For example, if someone posts, "Finally booked my Dubai trip," attackers might send a fake travel confirmation email to exploit this information. Corporate websites reveal leadership names, departments, vendor partnerships, office locations, press releases, and upcoming events. Attackers use this information to craft emails that feel internal and legitimate, increasing the likelihood that employees will trust and act on them. Job descriptions reveal internal tools, software used, security systems, workflows, and department responsibilities. For example, a job posting that says, "Experience with Office 365 and SharePoint required," tells attackers exactly which login pages to clone. Leaked databases and dark web forums. Massive data breaches expose email addresses, passwords, phone numbers, and personal details. Attackers combine this with social media data to create highly personalized messages. Why reconnaissance works. People underestimate how much information they share online. Attackers don't need to hack anything. They simply collect what people willingly post. The more they know, the more believable their phishing email becomes. Step 2. Choosing the attack angle, fully expanded. Once attackers gather enough information, they decide how to manipulate the target. This is where psychology becomes the core weapon. Attackers choose an emotional trigger, a specific psychological angle that will make the victim act quickly and without thinking. Fear-based attacks. Fear is one of the strongest human emotions. When people are scared, they react instantly. Attackers use fear to create messages like, "Your bank account has been suspended. Your tax ID is under investigation. Your email password has expired. Suspicious login detected." Fear shuts down rational thinking. People click before they think. Urgency-based attacks. Urgency creates pressure. When people feel rushed, they skip verification. Attackers use urgency with phrases like, "Immediate action required. Your account will be locked in 24 hours. Payment must be completed today." Urgency forces people into reactive mode. Curiosity-based attacks. Curiosity is a powerful motivator. People want to know what they're missing. Attackers use curiosity with subject lines like, "Your package delivery failed. Someone filed a complaint against you. Important document attached." Curiosity overrides caution. Authority-based attacks. Humans naturally obey authority. Attackers impersonate CEOs, HR managers, IT departments, banks, and government agencies. When people see authority, they comply. Reward-based attacks. People love rewards. Attackers exploit this with, "You've won a free gift. Exclusive offer just for you. Claim your cashback reward." Greed blinds people to danger. Trust-based attacks. People trust familiar names. Attackers spoof colleagues, friends, vendors, and managers. A message from someone you know feels safe, even when it's fake. Step 3. Creating a fake email fully expanded. Once attackers choose the psychological angle, they begin crafting the email itself. This is where their creativity and attention to detail shine. A phishing email is not just a message. It is a carefully engineered illusion. Attackers copy real company logos, real email signatures, real formatting styles, real writing tone, real color schemes, real disclaimers. They often use publicly available templates or clone real emails from leaked inboxes, making their messages appear completely authentic to unsuspecting recipients. Attackers use tools to make the email appear as if it came from a bank, a colleague, a government agency, a vendor, or a manager. The display name might say Microsoft Support, but the actual email address is fake, fooling recipients into trusting the sender. Attackers register domains that look almost identical to real ones. paypi.com, capital I instead of L. micro0ft.com, 0 instead of O. securebankverify.com. These domains trick people who don't inspect URLs carefully, increasing the chance of falling victim. Attackers mimic the CEO's writing style, the HR department's tone, the IT team's language, the bank's formal style. They study real emails to match the tone perfectly, making their phishing attempts even more convincing to the average reader. A phishing email is only half the attack. The real trap is the fake website. Attackers clone websites using tools like HT-Track, Black-Eye, Zfisher, SocialFish, EvilGenX2. These tools copy layout, fonts, buttons, forms, and logos. The cloned site looks identical to the real one. Most people don't check the URL, the SSL certificate, the domain spelling, the security indicators. They only look at the design. If it looks familiar, they trust it. Attackers know this and design fake websites to appear completely trustworthy to users. Once the email and website are ready, attackers launch the attack using botnets, compromised servers, mass mailing tools, spoofed domains, free email accounts. They track who opened the email, who clicked the link, who entered their password, who downloaded the attachment. This gives them real-time data. Once the victim enters their details, the attacker acts immediately. They may log into the victim's account, bypass MFA using session hijacking, steal sensitive data, transfer money, install malware, take over email accounts, impersonate the victim, and spread the attack internally. The process can take less than 2 minutes. Most people believe they can spot a fake email easily, but the truth is, modern phishing attacks are so sophisticated that even cybersecurity professionals sometimes fall for them. That's why people need a system, not guesswork. A system that works even when they are tired, they are stressed, they are distracted, the email looks perfect, the attacker is highly skilled. This is where the 7-layer phishing detection framework comes in. Each layer acts like a security checkpoint. If an email fails even one layer, it should be treated as suspicious. Most people only look at the sender name, not the actual email address. This is a huge mistake. Attackers know this, so they spoof names like Microsoft Support, HDFC Bank, HR Department, or CEO John Smith. But when you click the name and inspect the real email address, you often find something suspicious. Attackers use misspelled domains. These domains look almost identical to real ones. paypay.com, capital I instead of L, microzerosoft.com, 0 instead of O, googlesupport.com. At a quick glance, they look legitimate. Attackers add extra words to make the domain appear official. securebankverify.com, microsoftaccount-help.com, hr-employee-portal-login.com. These domains sound convincing, but are completely fake. Attackers sometimes use Gmail, Yahoo, or Outlook accounts, hdfc.bank.support@gmail.com, Microsoft password reset@yahoo.com. No real company uses free email accounts for official communication. If the sender address looks suspicious, the email is almost certainly a phishing attempt. This is the first and most important checkpoint. Legitimate organizations usually address you by your real name because they already have your information. For example, Dear Pravin, Hello Mr. Kumar, Hi Pravin. Phishing emails often use generic greetings because attackers don't know your name. Examples include Dear User, Dear Customer, Dear Sir Madam, Valued Member. Attackers send thousands of emails at once. They cannot personalize each one. A generic greeting is a sign that the email is mass distributed. The sender does not know you. The message is likely automated. The email is not from a trusted source. This layer helps beginners quickly identify suspicious messages. Phishing emails often contain spelling mistakes, grammar errors, awkward phrasing, unnatural tone, inconsistent formatting. Why? Because many phishing operations are run from countries where English is not the primary language. Attackers often use translation tools or copy text from other sources, resulting in unnatural writing. Examples of suspicious language. Your account are suspended. Please verify your informations. We detected unusual activities on your account. These errors are red flags. But modern phishing emails are getting better. Some attackers now use AI to write perfect English. So while language errors are a strong indicator, their absence does not guarantee safety. This is why we need multiple layers. This is one of the most powerful detection techniques. When you hover your mouse over a link without clicking, your email client shows the real URL. This reveals whether the link is legitimate or fake. Safe example, if the email claims to be from Bank of America, the link should be https://www.bankofamerica.com. Suspicious examples: http://bankofamerica.securelogin.com, bankofamerica.securelogin.com in Bing, http://boamerica.com, http://zeroamerica.com, http secure Bank of America verify net. These look similar, but are completely fake. Why fake links work? Attackers rely on fast reading, small screens, mobile devices, distracted users. People often click without checking. Why this layer is critical. Even if the email looks perfect, the link will always expose the truth. Attachments are one of the most dangerous parts of phishing emails. Attackers use attachments to deliver malware, ransomware, keyloggers, trojans, spyware. These files often come disguised as invoices, resumes, reports, bank statements, delivery receipts. Suspicious file types: .zip, .visc, .js, .scr, .bat, .xlsn, macro-enabled Excel, .docm, macro-enabled Word. Why attachments are dangerous. Even opening the file can infect your system. You don't need to install anything. Some malware activates automatically. Golden rule: if you weren't expecting an attachment, do not open it. Urgency is one of the most common psychological tricks used in phishing. Attackers want you to act quickly without thinking. They use phrases like "act now," "immediate action required," "your account will be closed today," "final warning." Why urgency works. When people feel rushed, they skip verification, ignore red flags, act emotionally, make mistakes. Urgency is designed to override logic. Real example: a fake HR email might say, "Your salary account will be frozen unless you update your details within 2 hours." This creates panic. Panic leads to mistakes. This is the most important layer and the most overlooked. Phishing attacks are emotional attacks. They are designed to make you feel something strong enough to bypass your logical thinking. Common emotional reactions: fear, excitement, curiosity, stress, guilt, urgency, pressure. If an email triggers a strong emotional reaction, stop and think. Why this layer works. Humans make poor decisions when emotional. Attackers know this. If an email makes you feel scared, rushed, threatened, rewarded, pressured, it is likely a phishing attempt. This final layer acts as your internal alarm system. Phishing is not just a personal threat, it is a corporate crisis. Every year, companies lose billions of dollars because a single employee clicked a single link. It doesn't matter how advanced a company's firewalls are, how expensive their antivirus software is, or how modern their cloud infrastructure looks. If one employee falls for a phishing email, the entire organization can collapse like a house of cards. This is why companies must build multi-layered defense systems that protect not just their technology, but their people. Let's break down the most powerful corporate defense strategies in detail. Section 6: How companies can defend against phishing, fully expanded. The first and most important line of defense is people. Technology can block many threats, but it cannot stop an employee from clicking a malicious link, unless that employee knows how to recognize danger. This is why companies must invest in continuous, practical scenario-based training. Most employees are not cybersecurity experts. They are accountants, HR professionals, engineers, salespeople, managers, interns. Their job is not to detect cyber threats. Their job is to get work done. Attackers know this. They target employees who are busy, are stressed, are new, handle money, handle data, handle approvals. Training helps employees understand what phishing looks like, how attackers think, how to verify suspicious messages, how to report threats, how to avoid common mistakes. Good training is not a boring PowerPoint presentation. It is interactive, story-driven, filled with real examples, updated regularly, tailored to job roles, practical, not theoretical. Employees should learn through simulated phishing emails, real-world case studies, hands-on exercises, video demonstrations, quizzes, and challenges. Cyber threats evolve constantly. A training session from last year is already outdated. Companies must train employees monthly, quarterly, during onboarding, after major incidents, whenever new threats emerge. Training is not a one-time event. It is a culture. Phishing simulations are one of the most powerful tools companies can use to strengthen employee awareness. A phishing simulation is a controlled test where the company sends fake phishing emails to employees to see how they respond. Simulations reveal who clicks suspicious links, who enters passwords, who reports threats, who needs more training, which departments are vulnerable. This data helps companies identify weak points before real attackers exploit them. A cybersecurity team creates fake phishing emails that mimic real attacks, fake HR updates, fake bank alerts, fake CEO requests, fake delivery notifications, and fake password resets. Employees who fall for the simulation are guided through additional training. If simulations are rare, employees forget. If simulations are predictable, employees ignore them. Simulations must be random, frequent, varied, realistic, and role-specific. This builds long-term awareness among all employees about phishing threats and how to respond to them. Technology cannot replace human awareness, but it can significantly reduce the number of phishing emails that reach employees. Companies must use advanced email security tools that act as a shield between attackers and employees. Spam filters block obvious spam and low-quality phishing attempts. Anti-phishing gateways analyze sender reputation, domain authenticity, message content, attachment behavior, and link safety. They block suspicious emails before they reach the inbox. DMARC, DKIM, and SPF are domain protection protocols that prevent attackers from spoofing company email addresses. SPF verifies which servers can send emails for a domain. DKIM adds a digital signature to verify authenticity. DMARC enforces rules and prevents spoofing. Sandboxing opens attachments in a safe, isolated environment to check the malware, without risk to the company. This ensures that any malicious files are detected before they can cause harm. URL rewriting and scanning allow links in emails to be scanned in real time to detect and block malicious redirects. This protects employees from accidentally visiting harmful sites from phishing emails. Even the best tools cannot stop highly targeted spear phishing, CEO fraud, internal impersonation, or other social engineering attacks. This is why technology must be combined with continuous training and a strong security culture. Zero Trust is one of the most important cybersecurity frameworks in the modern world. The philosophy is simple: never trust, always verify. Every action and user is continuously validated to maintain high security standards. In traditional security, once someone logs in, they are trusted. In Zero Trust, every action is verified. Zero Trust checks who the user is, what device they're using, where they're logging in from, their behavior, and whether a request is normal. Even if an attacker steals a password, Zero Trust prevents them from logging in from unknown devices, accessing sensitive data, performing unusual actions, or bypassing security controls. Zero Trust turns stolen credentials into useless information for attackers. Multi-factor authentication, MFA, is one of the simplest and most effective defenses against phishing. It requires users to verify their identity using a password and at least one additional factor, such as a phone, fingerprint, face scan, or hardware token. Always click the sender name to reveal the actual email address. If the address looks suspicious, the email is suspicious. Mistake 2. Clicking without thinking, deep explanation. This is one of the most universal human mistakes. Clicking links automatically, without pausing to evaluate the message. People receive dozens of emails every day. Most of these emails require quick action, approving requests, opening documents, checking updates, responding to colleagues, accessing shared files. Over time, clicking becomes a habit, almost a reflex. Attackers exploit this reflex by designing emails that blend into everyday workflow. Real example: an employee receives an email that says, "Here's the updated project timeline. Please review before the meeting." The employee clicks the link instantly because they are busy. The message feels routine. The request seems normal. The timing matches their schedule. But the link leads to a fake login page. Why this mistake is dangerous. Clicking without thinking bypasses all security layers. Even the best cybersecurity tools cannot protect someone who willingly enters their password into a fake website. How to avoid this mistake. Before clicking any link, ask, was I expecting this? Does the email look normal? Is the sender legitimate? Does the link look suspicious? A 3-second pause can prevent a disaster. Mistake 3. Using the same password everywhere. Deep explanation. This mistake is so widespread that attackers count on it. Most people reuse the same password, or slight variations of it, across multiple accounts. Why this happens? People struggle to remember multiple passwords. They want something simple, memorable, consistent. So they use the same password for email, banking, social media, shopping, work accounts. Attackers know this. How attackers exploit this? When a website is hacked and passwords are leaked, attackers try those same passwords on Gmail, Facebook, Instagram, Office 365, corporate portals, banking apps. This technique is called credential stuffing. Real example. If someone uses the password Pravin@123 for their Netflix account and Netflix gets hacked, attackers will try Pravin@123 on Gmail, Pravin@123 on Facebook, Pravin@123 on Office 365, Pravin@123 on banking apps. If even one login works, the attacker wins. Why this mistake is dangerous? One leaked password can compromise personal identity, financial accounts, work accounts, cloud storage, confidential data. How to avoid this mistake? Use unique passwords, a password manager, multi-factor authentication. This makes credential stuffing useless. Mistake 4. Ignoring browser warnings. Deep explanation. Modern browsers like Chrome, Edge, and Firefox have built-in security systems that warn users when a website looks suspicious. But many people ignore these warnings. People often make risky decisions online for several reasons. They may assume a warning is just a glitch, think the browser is being overly cautious, trust a website simply because it looks normal, or feel pressure to access the page urgently. Attackers exploit this impatience, knowing people are more likely to ignore warnings if they are in a hurry or under pressure. For example, someone clicks a link in an email and their browser shows a red warning screen saying "deceptive site ahead." Instead of stopping, the person chooses to proceed and quickly enters their password into a fake login page. Ignoring browser warnings is very dangerous. Browsers show these alerts when they detect known phishing sites, malicious domains, fake login pages, or malware hosting servers. Ignoring these is like walking past a fire alarm without checking for danger. To avoid making this mistake, always stop immediately if your browser issues a warning. The warning is there for a good reason and should never be ignored. Mistake 5. Not verifying requests. Deep explanation. This mistake often happens in workplaces. Employees receive emails from managers, HR, finance, IT, or vendors. They assume these messages are legitimate and take action without checking. Why does this happen? People are afraid to delay work, disappoint their boss, appear incompetent, miss deadlines, or cause problems. Attackers take advantage of these fears by impersonating authority figures. For example, a finance employee gets an email, "Please transfer $12,050,000 to this vendor immediately. I'm in a meeting and cannot talk." The employee sends the money because the message seems urgent. The sender's name is the CEO, and the tone is authoritative, but it's fake. Failing to verify requests can lead to serious consequences, such as financial loss, data breaches, account compromise, and further internal spread of attacks within an organization. To avoid this, always verify requests through a phone call, an in-person conversation, or an internal messaging system. Verification only takes 10 seconds, but recovery from a mistake can take years. Phishing is not a problem that can be solved with a single tool or a single training session. It requires consistent habits, smart decisions, and layered defenses. This section breaks down the most practical, beginner-friendly steps that individuals and companies can take to protect themselves. These are not technical steps. These are human steps, simple actions that anyone can understand and apply. Most people believe cybersecurity is complicated, but the truth is that small, simple habits can protect you from 90% of phishing attacks. These habits don't require technical knowledge. They don't require expensive tools. They only require awareness and consistency. Let's break them down. A strong password is your first line of defense, but most people underestimate how important this is. Attackers use automated tools that can guess weak passwords in seconds. If your password is your name, your birthday, your pet's name, 123456, password, QWERTY, it can be cracked instantly. Even if your password is strong, using the same password everywhere is extremely dangerous. If one website gets hacked, attackers try the same password on your email, your bank, your social media, your work accounts. This is how people lose everything in minutes. If your Netflix password leaks, attackers will try it on your Gmail. If they get into your Gmail, they can reset every other password you own. This is why unique passwords are essential. Imagine you have 10 doors in your house. Would you use the same key for all 10 doors? If someone steals that key, they can enter every room. Passwords work the same way. MFA adds an extra layer of security by requiring a password plus a second factor, OTP, fingerprint, face scan, etc. Even if attackers steal your password, they cannot log in without the second factor. Most phishing attacks aim to steal passwords. MFA makes stolen passwords useless. If an attacker tries to log into your Gmail, you will receive a notification. Did you just try to sign in? If you say no, the attacker is blocked. People often enable MFA only on their bank accounts, but attackers target email, social media, cloud storage, work accounts. Your email is the most important account because it controls everything else. A password manager stores all your passwords securely and generates strong, unique passwords for every account. Most people cannot remember 20, 50, or 100 passwords, so they reuse the same password everywhere. A password manager solves this problem. You only remember one master password. The password manager remembers the rest. Password managers use encryption, zero-knowledge architecture, and secure vaults. Even the company that makes the password manager cannot see your passwords. Software updates are not just about new features. They fix security vulnerabilities. Hackers constantly search for weaknesses in browsers, operating systems, apps, plugins, and extensions. When companies discover these weaknesses, they release updates to fix them. If you don't update, you remain vulnerable. The WannaCry ransomware attack spread globally because millions of people ignored a Windows update. Public Wi-Fi networks, like those in cafes, airports, and malls, are extremely risky. Attackers can intercept your data, steal your passwords, monitor your activity, and redirect you to fake websites. This attack is called a man-in-the-middle attack. An attacker creates a Wi-Fi network named Airport-Free Wi-Fi. People connect without thinking. The attacker monitors everything. To stay safe, use a mobile hotspot, VPN, or secure networks. Never log into banking or email accounts on public Wi-Fi. OTPs are the keys to your accounts. If someone gets your OTP, they can reset your passwords, log into your accounts, and steal your money. Attackers pretend to be bank officials, customer support, delivery agents, or government officers to get your OTP. They say, "We need your OTP to verify your identity." This is a lie. No legitimate organization will ever ask for your OTP. This is the most powerful habit. Phishing works because people react emotionally. If you slow down, you break the attacker's psychological trap. Ask yourself, does this email make me feel scared? Does it make me feel rushed? Does it feel too good to be true? Was I expecting this message? If something feels off, it probably is. Companies face far greater risks than individuals. A single phishing email can shut down operations, leak confidential data, cause financial loss, damage reputation, and trigger legal consequences. This is why companies must build multi-layered defenses. Zero trust means never trust, always verify. Why zero trust works? Even if attackers steal a password, zero trust checks device identity, location, behavior, and risk score. If anything looks unusual, access is blocked. Real example. If an employee logs in from India every day, and suddenly a login attempt comes from Russia, zero trust blocks it automatically. 9.2. Enforce multi-factor authentication. Deep explanation. Companies must enforce MFA across email, VPN, cloud apps, internal systems, admin accounts. Why MFA is critical for companies. Attackers target finance teams, HR teams, IT admins, executives. These accounts have high privileges. MFA protects them. 9.3. Run regular phishing simulations. Deep explanation. Simulations help companies identify vulnerable employees, measure awareness level, improve training, reduce real-world risk. Why simulations must be realistic. If simulations are too easy, employees learn nothing. If they are too predictable, employees ignore them. Simulations must mimic real phishing emails, real spear phishing attacks, real CEO fraud attempts. 9.4. Use email security tools. Deep explanation. Companies must deploy anti-phishing gateways, spam filters, domain protection, DMARC, DKIM, SPF, sandboxing, URL scanning. These tools block most phishing attempts before they reach employees. 9.5. Monitor network behavior. Deep explanation. Modern cybersecurity uses AI to detect unusual behavior. Examples of suspicious behavior: logging in at unusual hours, accessing unusual files, downloading large amounts of data, logging in from new locations. Behavioral monitoring catches attacks early. 9.6. Create an incident response plan. Deep explanation. Companies must have a clear plan for reporting phishing, isolating infected devices, resetting compromised accounts, communicating with stakeholders, recovering data. Why this matters. A fast response can prevent financial loss, data theft, operational shutdown, reputational damage. As we reach the end of this module, it's important to step back and look at the bigger picture. Not just the techniques, not just the tools, not just the examples, but the human story behind all of this. Because at its core, phishing is not a technological problem. It is a human problem. It is a story about trust, a story about fear, a story about manipulation, a story about how the smallest decisions, a click, a reply, a moment of panic, can create consequences that ripple across lives, families, and entire organizations. Let's bring everything together. Section 10, powerful summary, fully expanded. Across the world, billions of emails travel through cyberspace every single day. Most of them are harmless. Some of them are important. A few of them are dangerous. And a tiny fraction, the ones crafted with precision, psychology, and patience, are capable of destroying everything. Phishing and spear phishing are not just fake emails. They are weapons of deception, designed to bypass firewalls, antivirus software, and even the most advanced security systems by targeting the one vulnerability that technology cannot patch: human emotion. Throughout this module, we explored how attackers study their victims, gather personal and professional information, craft believable messages, clone websites, exploit psychological triggers, and manipulate trust, fear, urgency, and authority. We saw how phishing attacks can empty bank accounts, steal identities, compromise corporate networks, trigger ransomware outbreaks, cause financial collapse, destroy reputations, and shut down entire organizations. We learned that even the biggest companies in the world, Google, Facebook, Sony, Marriott, and countless others, have fallen victim to spear phishing attacks. Not because their technology was weak, but because humans were targeted. We also explored the 7-layer phishing detection framework, a practical system that anyone, from a beginner to a cybersecurity professional, can use to identify suspicious messages. We learned how companies can defend themselves through zero trust, MFA, phishing simulations, employee training, email security tools, and incident response plans. And we learned that individuals can protect themselves through strong passwords, password managers, software updates, avoiding public Wi-Fi, never sharing OTPs, and slowing down and thinking. But the most important lesson of all is this: cybersecurity is not about computers. Cybersecurity is about people. It is about awareness. It is about habits. It is about culture. It is about making smart decisions in moments of pressure. Phishing succeeds when people act emotionally. Phishing fails when people act thoughtfully. Imagine a world where every person, from a student checking their email to a CEO approving a payment, understands the psychology of phishing. Imagine a world where people pause before clicking, where employees verify before transferring money, where families know how to protect their digital lives, where companies build cultures of awareness instead of relying solely on technology. In that world, phishing attacks lose their power, human hacking becomes ineffective, cybercriminals lose their advantage. Because the truth is simple, hackers don't break into systems, they break into people. But when people become aware, when people become educated, when people become cyber-smart, hackers lose. Every time you recognize a suspicious email, you win. Every time you report a phishing attempt, you win. Every time you protect your family, your colleagues, or your company, you win. Cybersecurity is not a job title. It is not a department. It is not a tool. Cybersecurity is a shared responsibility, a responsibility that begins with awareness and grows with practice. And today, by learning how phishing works, how attackers think, and how to defend yourself, you've taken a powerful step toward becoming part of the solution. If this module opened your eyes, if it made you think differently about your inbox, if it helped you understand how human hacking works, then imagine how many people in your life still don't know any of this. Your friends, your family, your colleagues, your employees, your community. One shared video could protect someone from losing their savings. One conversation could prevent a company from falling victim to a scam. One moment of awareness could stop a cybercriminal in their tracks. So here's what you can do next. Share this video with someone you care about. Teach one person how to spot a phishing email. Encourage your workplace to run phishing simulations. Build awareness in your team, your family, your circle. Become the person who spreads knowledge, not fear. And if you want to continue your journey of becoming cyber-smart, if you want more modules like this, cinematic, practical, deeply educational, if you want to understand the modern digital world in a way that protects you and empowers you, then join us. Subscribe to Knowitrix, turn on notifications, stay informed, stay aware, stay secure, because in the digital world, knowledge is not just power, knowledge is protection. And together, we can build a world where human hacking fails, because humans are no longer hackable.